Every now and then there's an indie game that creates an overwhelmingly positive experience, and it's just completely underrated, unheard of, and just flat out silent. And especially since this game is coming off the release of Elden Ring, and I make that distinction because it's a Souls-like and kind of puzzle game, I feel like a lot of people need to hear about this game. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Watermelon Rating. Today we have Tunic, which was released by Tunic Team, somewhat of a small development team, and this is something truly amazing. Like, I didn't expect the game to be this good when it showed up in my Steam queue, which is how I find most of my games anyway. Think of that what you will, but you, my friend, gonna learn all about the journey that is Tunic. I have no idea why they named it this, but your cute little fox wears a tunic.
I'm not cute. I'm mean and scary, and I'll kick your butt.
I think. It's this sort of scarf, top piece kind of deal. And right off the bat, you're going to be confused as hell because in this story, there are no words, and everything is in this made-up scripture that even the Rosetta Stone needs translation for. Some moments in the game, you will not know what the fuck is going on because it will give you a question, yes or no, and for all I know, I could have been giving away my IP and my address, but I said yes anyway, of course. Thankfully, they gave me this stick. Throughout your play, you'll find pieces of a strategy guide that kind of instruct you and give you clues, hints, whatnot on what exactly is going on here. There are some pages that will teach you controls, and there are some pages that will teach you lore, some pages that will give you hints about unlocking things, where to go, maps, you name it. This strategy guide is like carrying the team here. However, the strategy guide is also in this fucking language that I do not understand. There are some tidbits, and obviously there are pictures. Some words are in English, but this is the hardest game of charades that I have played in my life. What's worse is that the pages aren't in order when you get them, so that will probably end up leaving you more confused than ever, not knowing where to go. Sound familiar? Maybe like your favorite Souls-like game? Moving on. The gameplay, I strongly recommend playing with controller. It's got that traditional Souls-like feel. Obviously no remapping for controller, but there is for mouse and keyboard, but I don't recommend doing it because of the way this game is angled. Some of the enemies move so fast that when you are tracking them, they will actually warp around your camera. And that makes it hard when you're playing MKB because if you want to track them, you won't have control of your mouse. A lot of people who are Souls-like veterans already know this is the case, but this game focuses heavily on locking in. And that doesn't mean just for enemies, it means for grappling, random movement, and sometimes even looking for clues. Which I guess that would be a non-issue because if you're looking for clues, you're not really fighting anyone. One thing I will note though is that the controller mapping is very, very untraditional. I'm talking about 3 mappable buttons that can be used for items instead of making it one for each. So I guess that gives free range of comfortability. That was very weird. But also when selecting items, there's not a dis-select, so you'll have to select the item in 2 spots and then move it back to the spot you want if you don't want one of those items on your bar or access region, whatever. Some people may be put off by the holdable lock-on option and the manual lock-on option, but trust me, there is a good reason for that you will probably find 2 to 3 hours into the game. And of course, I have to mention this weird-ass parry that I couldn't actually figure out at the beginning because I thought I was supposed to be double-clicking. That's wrong. You're supposed to be single-clicking, but it's got to be fast. A click and release. It's kind of hard to time. It's extremely weird because the world slows down right before you're about to parry. I think that's for like a dramatic effect, but the parry is so weirdly timed in accordance to people's swings. It's just overly complicated. I want to touch on this note of cryptology because I explained it a little bit in the beginning. This is something that completely stumped me when I was starting out the game. And it really makes you feel stupid, like not knowing what the fuck is going on, but I feel like that is partially why this game is great. The journey of discovering what exactly is happening is probably one of the best feelings when playing a video game, especially when you don't have to lean on Google. It's an amazing feeling. This game gives you just enough hints to figure it out, but it's not so many hints that it makes it exactly easy for you to figure out all the clues and whatnot. It requires an acute attention to the thought bubbles and the small text in each of the pages, because without it, you wouldn't figure out anything. Like I said before, trying to gauge the story and everything from just the pictures and the small sentences, not even whole sentences, like 2-word sentences that are in English is tough. Like, it makes no sense, especially for these puzzles that some require you to draw or keep a notepad on you to figure them out. It's truly phenomenal. With all that baked into it, even if you don't care about any of the lore, which is great, though a little cliche, even if you don't care about that and you just want to experience the Souls-like genre or the Souls-like feeling in such a short time, this is one of the games to play. Not to mention, this game has accessibility options in quotation marks, because a lot of people ask for that when they look at Souls games. There's a no-fail option and then something else I don't remember looking at, which makes the game more story-driven, which is what some people want in a Souls-like game. So there's that option for that select group of people. It's a really nice thing to put in there. It's very considerate, but not something that I really care about. But that would conclude this watermelon rating. Tunic is just great. And I absolutely love when I see indie games pour their heart into creating such a good time and such a good experience for their players, no matter the size. And I have to recommend this game. I would give this game a 5 out of 5 watermelons. I feel like they did everything right, or at least everything for a purpose. When crafting this game, they had an idea in mind that really came to fruition. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Tunic down in the comments below. More watermelon ratings to come, and I will see you in the next one.